Hi, Valentine's Day lovers. I have a sweet treat for you today. It's a little cookie with a heart right in the center, and you can make them for your sweetheart or your friends or whoever you want to. You start off with a very simple cornmeal cookie. I have a half a cup of cornmeal in my bowl. To that, I'm adding 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a half a teaspoon of salt, and whisk that together. That's your dry ingredients. In my mixer, I have a half a cup of sugar and 2 sticks of room temperature unsalted butter. Cream those ingredients together. To the butter mixture, you'll add 1 large egg. If your butter is truly room temperature, it'll only take a minute or so to get really nice and creamed, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You'll want to scrape down your bowl to make sure that the butter is fully incorporating. It's the little things that make a good cookie, I think. Just the little steps that you take along the way. Then just go ahead and add your dry ingredients. Turn on low and beat to combine. Looking good. Have your oven preheating to 400 degrees and a couple of baking sheets lined with parchment paper. These cookies you're going to want to scoop and make about 1-inch balls. If you want to use a scoop, you can. This will make 1-inch balls. You want to scoop them and then roll them in sugar, place them down on your baking sheet, and then you press them down with the bottom of a glass so that it's about 1.5 inches in diameter. So you do that with all of your dough. I think I can fit about 12 per baking sheet. You can do multiple baking sheets if you have them, or just do them in batches. Mine are sticking to the glass, but they're coming off pretty easily too, so don't worry about it. Makes a very nice flat cookie, which is great for piping on. Now for the trick, take a tiny little heart cutter. This is a 1-inch heart cutter, and these are 1.5-inch cookies. And then you just press the heart into the center of the cookie. Don't go all the way through, but you're just marking a heart on the top of the cookie. That way when it bakes and you pipe your frosting in there, you have perfect outlines for your hearts. Then get these into your 400-degree oven and bake them until they're set and golden around the edges. That'll take about 10 minutes or so. Here the cookies are. They're cooled. I'm going to make a little bit of a confectioner's sugar frosting or icing. I have a half a cup of confectioner's sugar. Add about just under 2 teaspoons of water. You just never know. Sometimes you need a little more, sometimes you need less. Add it gradually. Then add a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, and this adds liquid too. So add that, and then you can add additional water if necessary to make it pipeable. And then because it's Valentine's Day, I want my hearts to be Valentinesy. I'm going to add a little bit of food coloring, a little pink food coloring. 1 drop. That was a pretty big drop. I bet it's going to be pretty dark. That was like the world's biggest drop. My love for you is more intense, so the color of my pink is more intense. You can use a piping bag like I am with a very fine tip, or you could just spread this in with a little spoon. I'll do both, but I do find piping to be the neatest way to get icing on anything, quite honestly. But I understand not everybody has it, and it's actually quite a small amount of icing. I'm actually going to sit this into a measuring cup. That way I don't have to have my hands on it, and I can just scrape the icing right in there. Just take your icing and your cookies, and then just pipe the icing within the lines of the cookie. It gives you a really nice guideline to work within. I'm piping pretty generously. I might end up needing a little bit more icing, and that's okay. It's very easy to make. So that's how you pipe them. It's really nice. You need to let them sit until they're set, but they're so pretty. You can pack them up, you can give them away, you can bring them to work. You can also spread the icing in with the back of a little spoon. You probably use a little bit less icing this way. Just put a dollop of icing into the center, and then use the back of the spoon to spread it around. This spoon method works really well as well, but just work quickly because the frosting does have a tendency to dry out, and you want it nice and smooth and for it to flow into all the edges. Just let these sit for about 10 or 15 minutes to completely set. So here's some cutie pies that I made earlier. It's a slightly lighter pink frosting, but aren't they adorable? I just love them. I think that you're gonna love them. They're not just cute and beautiful, they're also super delicious, So your loved one's gonna love you that much more.